when I was planning my talk, it's always really tough for me. So when I am trying to figure out what to say, I always wonder, why am I the one that's here? I only ended up in this position for the last hackathon because somebody backed out. And so then the responsibility fell to me. I don't consider myself to be a public speaker or a stage personality. I get really nervous every time I speak. But after the last hackathon, the number of young people that came up to me and thanked me for being the person on stage, especially the women and girls in school who see me as a role model, and I don't see why. I think it is really important that I'm here. And at first I thought, I need to wear some pants and hide my cast, because that's not what I envisioned a leader to be. But that's not true, because we always talk about minority representation and female representation in leadership. But I also want to talk about exposing and showing vulnerability in leadership, because I think that's really important for people to be able to relate to you as a leader. It's that you aren't perfect and you don't need to be perfect, and you can still have an impact on the world and the people around you. And so I wanted to I can't wear high heels, but I can still wear a dress and be everything that I am. And so that led into what I'm going to chat with Mayor Gondek. We're going to talk about minority representation in leadership. Do you have a mic?
I have this. Do I need a mic?
Another mic?
Okay.
I think so.
Yes, I have a mic. Of course I do.
We know what we're doing-ish, mostly. What were we going to talk about today? Oh, somebody was listening. You get a water bottle. So, as I mentioned, I don't see myself as the picture of a leader. I don't know why that is. I don't think there have been a lot of people, especially in tech leadership, that look like me. So how important do you think it is to have women and minority leadership?
There's never been a mayor that looks like me. So, if we're going to go down that road, I think we need to be kind of real about who has occupied all of the roles that people are used to seeing. And if people like you are worried that you don't look like what people expect of you, and people like me are thinking, do I look like a mayor? That's not right. That's not okay. So I think we need to pretty much shatter that right now. Actually, we needed to do it many, many years ago, but let's just do it now. You're a leader. You're amazing. You coordinated your cast with your jacket. Number one. You are one of the smartest people I know. You are well-spoken, and you have a high give-a-shit factor. I think this is what I said last time, too. So you're a leader in my mind. You're a leader in my eyes. And I think in this room, everyone thinks that you're a leader. So I won't tell you how to feel, because that's never fair. But you should know that in this room, we love you, we respect you, and we think you are an amazing leader. So embrace that. And next time we come back, you don't have to not feel like a leader.
I promised myself I wouldn't cry.
It's my mission to make you cry.
I hope that, I didn't actually want to talk about it, but I think it was really important that I did, because I truly believe that shame only has power until you bring light into it. And I think talking about it helps other people to see themselves in that, and that's the only way that they're going to find the leadership within themselves. So, there are definitely some challenges in being a female and minority leader. Mm-hmm. Like, what kind of challenges have you seen?
Let's start with the multiple roles that you play. right? So as a woman, you are often a primary caregiver of somebody, whether it's an aging parent, whether it's a child. You may be the person that has primary responsibility for running your household. There's a lot of things that come along with being a woman, and the world's changed a little bit. It's not bad. I mean, we're starting to divide labor a little bit more equally, but it hasn't changed completely. So there's times that, like, I got a phone call from my mom in a council meeting, like a phone call. And the rule is, don't call me unless it's an emergency. And she called once, and then she called again. And I thought, oh God, something terrible has happened. So I asked somebody to come and chair. I went to the back, I phoned her, I said, what happened? And she goes, oh, nothing. I thought you called me. I said, I didn't call you, I'm in a meeting. She goes, oh, okay, sorry. And I had to go though, like I had to run out of that meeting and answer the phone because I have no siblings. My mom is a widow now, and who else was she gonna call is the general sense of if there's emergency, phone me. But if it was a different person as the mayor, it may well be that that person's wife would have gotten that phone call, right? And if my kid is sick, I was the primary parent for the longest time, so I got that call no matter what I was doing. There have even been instances, I can tell you this, people that are in senior administration positions at the city have gotten phone calls from their kids' school, like the women have gotten calls saying, hey mom, we need you to come pick up so-and-so because he's sick. I'm not the primary parent, can you please call his dad? Well, he's probably working. Like seriously, 2023, he's probably working, so am I. So I think there's still these stereotypes and these roles that we need to break down. And this is not to pick on men. And I find that sometimes there's men in the room that get very uncomfortable about this because they feel that things have changed. They're changing, they haven't changed completely. So I think the fact that we have multiple responsibilities and obligations at any time, that we are all of these different things to different people, makes life really busy and really difficult. But you can't slow down. You can't not do all of the things you have to do for everybody. So it becomes a tremendous burden and it's stressful. So that's why I think women have a very difficult time getting into positions of leadership and staying there because it takes its toll on you. So Jacinda saying her tank is empty. Yeah, I bet it's empty. The pandemic was no picnic. And there's people that are critical. Oh, I guess women can't have it all. Seriously, when are we going to start being so judgy? Women don't want it all. Women just want a chance to do the things they love as well as the things they have to do. So I think we've got to figure out how to embrace this idea of being a complicated person that has many different obligations. And I think that's what wears people down. And I will say this too, there's a lot of single dads out there who experience this. And they almost have a more difficult time or a tougher go because nobody believes that they're a single dad. Everyone thinks that they've got all these supports in place. So I think being a parent, being a primary caregiver, all of these things that you have to do in life combined with your actual career make it really tricky.
So what can we do about it to change that perception?
I think we were getting there with allowing more flexibility in a workday and in the workplace. And then it was 2020 and no one knew what to do about COVID and we were all at home, and now we've got return to work policies, and we've got a very strange world where we know some people are incredibly productive at home and others really aren't, but they like being at home because they can wear track pants and take their dog for a walk. Now we've become sort of this cynical world of, I don't really believe that person's working at home. And so now this idea of a flexible workplace has come into question. So we were so close to being there. And then we flipped and reverted again because we need more people to come to work so we can occupy places downtown so people can feel safer. I think we're still very judgy about each other. And I think we're very suspicious of each other. So I think we need to measure productivity differently and understand that there can be a combination of these things. I don't think we're there yet.
No, I think the thought about people being really judgy, I think that there's a huge responsibility on employers here to create that kind of culture where people can be open and honest. Because you need to make it okay for people to say, my kid's sick today, I need to stay home with them, I might not be as productive as I could be today because I need to take care of my sick child. And that needs to be all right. For me as a boss, I find that really helps because it allows people to be honest with their team about how much they're going to be able to do that day. And they are more likely to make sure that they get their work done at some other time that works for them without having to sacrifice their family. I'm hoping that more employers can do that, but I think that that kind of leadership comes with a lot of, you really have to accept that you can't know for sure if people are working at home, but you have to trust your team.
Well, and I think we need to open up the workplace to be something different than it has been. So, you know, there may be people in this room that have younger siblings that they're responsible for, or, you know, younger relatives that you're responsible for, picking them up at school, but then you got to take them home. What if you could bring them to the workplace and they could do their homework there? What if you could invite your kids in and they could do their homework there? What if, and this is an idea that, you know, one of my colleagues and I were talking about, bring your senior parent to work day. Sounds weird? So there's two of us on council that have been talking about our aging parents and how they're lonely and how we just can't give them everything they need. So this colleague of mine, her dad said to her, she was running out the door for a meeting, "Are you busy?" And you hate that question from your parent. And she said, "Kind of, what's happening?" "Well, I was hoping you could drop me at the mall and I could walk around and then come back." She said, "If you'd told me that an hour ago, I would have taken you and brought you back, but I can't right now." I felt the same way with my mom for a very long time. You know, like I wish she had something to do while I was at work. So why not just invite them to the workplace? They can hang out in chambers and watch boring debate in council. They can, you know, go over to Good Earth. They can walk over to the Central Library. They can come over here and check out Platform. They could do all these things, but we don't encourage that. So I think if more people that have multiple responsibilities come into positions of leadership, maybe we can start doing weird, different things that invite our families and our social circle along on that journey of being with us and not with us kind of at the same time, and be more accommodating as to what the workplace means. Because we spent so long separating work from the rest of our lives that I think it's time to incorporate all of that back. And from a pure city building perspective, we need to have more mixed-use facilities because that's how you keep places vibrant and alive at all hours of the day.
I brought my mom to work once and she told me my office was too small. Very Asian. Look at all these people that can relate. Maybe your mom could man the phone lines for all the phone calls about land use.
You're really good. That is such a great idea. Bring your parents to work so they can deal with angry people.
Yeah, I really like conversations with you. I think I really see you as, like, I really look up to you as a leader and as a mom. When I talk to my kids, I use you as an example all the time about how well you balance work and home and your family, and how you're clearly committed to your family as well as your job, and you don't have to choose. And I think it makes you a better leader. To me, it makes you a better leader. I think you're a really strong role model for our city. I think you're really great. And I'm really thankful that you came out today and committed the time to spend with us on a very busy Chinook Blast weekend.
I appreciate that. And you know what? I'm not the greatest mom. I'm still learning how to be a good mayor. I'm learning how to be a lot of things. And Allie from my team is here with me, and she'll tell you, I just leverage all the relationships I have. There are times that I've said to members of my team, "This meeting is running a lot longer than I thought it would. Could somebody meet my kid at the train?" Or, "Dear God, the pet place is closing and someone's got to pick up Smokey. Can someone go and help me with that?" And everyone's hands go up for that. But I think the biggest thing you have to realize is there's no such thing as balance. And so when people ask you how you balance these things, I don't. I just reprioritize stuff and try to figure it out. And I understand that I can't do it alone. I can't be a one-person force. I can't be a super anything because I can't do all of these things. So, the sooner all of us realize that we've got to rely on each other, the better off we'll be. I totally appreciate your kindness, but I think many of us look to you in the same way. We think you're an inspiration. You didn't have to come here, with an injured foot, but you did because you care enough about the people that are here today and the work that they're doing. So thank you.
I think in the last month, I might slightly be stubborn, and it's a little bit hard for me to ask for help. I've gotten a little bit better over the last few weeks, but
Kind of.
I'm trying. I think that's something that's also really hard for women, is asking for help without feeling like it's because we're not enough.
Well, especially, minority women, because you're expected to be able to do all the household stuff, and you're expected to know how to cook all the foods of your culture, but you're also expected to be very well educated, right? Like you have to go and get a degree of some sort, but then you have to get married too. Like if you're Punjabi, you have to be smart, you got to be kind of good looking, you got to be able to do all the household stuff, and you got to get married, and then you got to have kids. But none of that stuff goes together very well. It's really hard to be a professional and then just go off and have kids and cook all day long. The expectations are high. And so I think we have to shift cultural expectations too. And I think that is often the hardest thing. I think there's a lot of people in this room that can understand, yeah,
That's awesome. That's all the questions I have for you. I really appreciate your time and coming out to speak with us. I think I speak for everybody when thanking you for your support of the local tech community. I think that together we're going to make Calgary the tech hub of Canada.
Well, and I'm going to add something here. I get a lot of questions about why is Calgary a great tech hub and why do you think we attract great talent? And I keep saying, stop treating tech like it's some sort of standalone thing that's this mystery that nobody understands. Tech is table stakes. You hear me say that often. Tech is actually the ability to solve problems in a meaningful way. I don't see any of you as being tech people. What I see you as being is people that understand there are pretty complicated, pretty wicked problems that we need to solve. And there are things that you want to tackle in your lifetime. And you're coming together to try to figure out solutions for that. Sometimes you're told what the problem is, and sometimes you have in your head what the problem is, and you want to solve it. Using technology to do that is an amazing way to go further, faster. So I don't view tech as an independent sector. I view it as an absolute game changer, and I view all of you as being people who think in a different way than all of the linear thinkers of the world. I don't think you're like that. I think you pull in ideas and you apply them in places that people have never thought of. So I think Calgary can easily be the tech hub and the place that welcomes tech because we have so much else that goes along with it. All of the things that you love to do, keep telling us and we'll keep bringing them here. We've got Nitro Rallycross going on this weekend. We've got a Hitman game where they are celebrating that every child matters and they're raising Indigenous voices. We are that city. That's what I want to be known for. One that cares, one that's inclusive, one that's welcoming. So keep pushing us to be that city. And you don't need to thank me for being here. This is my job. I want to thank you for caring enough to do this on a weekend and for using inspired leadership to get you as far as you can possibly go. So thanks to all of you.
Thank you.